Any discussion? Otherwise, I would ask for someone to make a motion to accept the proposed budget.
Accept the budget.
2021. And you are?
Norm says.
Thank you, Norm. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Dave Starzak.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the proposed 2021 budget, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve.
And thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next we're gonna get into the individual committee reports. And first up is Brian to talk about our marketing initiatives.
Hello everyone, Brian Ballou talking about marketing. So I've got three main messages to talk about marketing today. And that is where we've been in the past. So membership has grown each of the past few years and recently peaked at 320 members. So there's a lot of hard work that went into that from members and leaders before us, like Dale Roble and Steve Schmittendorf, who I work closely with. So that feels really good that membership has been growing recently and we're at 320. So where are we now? Our members are active. They've been heavily responsive to things like the hotel initiative. They're engaged, you all are here today, and they're generous. Here's when we talk about generosity. When people renew, 30% of our members have added a donation in addition to their $40 annual dues. And that average donation is between $40 and $45. So that tells you that basically a third of people are valuing this membership at double the $40. And some individuals are giving hundreds of dollars, and even there's one who gave $1,000. So that tells you that there's a lot of generosity in our membership, which I think is extremely positive. So when we think about marketing, we want to add more members, of course, and become a more focused organization. We pursue new members through a variety of new initiatives. We offer up to 3 free months to those who join in the fall, so individuals join in that regard. We have successful realtors on the lake who sponsor memberships for new lake residents like Neil Clement and Deborah Dunn. We want to thank Deborah in particular because she was responsible for sponsoring 6 new members. So thank you, Deborah. That's not amazing. So that's a wonderful way when people come to the lake newly and have a membership sponsored. Typically, they continue with their membership. I know when Jay and I came, we weren't sponsored by a realtor, but we immediately joined and we've been members for 14 years, so we're very happy about that. So another initiative we have is the planned nature and history focused pontoon boat tours. There's a lot of interest in that. We had to postpone that due to COVID. Steve mentioned that. Our highly successful 125th anniversary celebration, that was just a joy to work on. We worked closely with the yacht club to use that venue, and goodness, I think we had 300 or 400 people join us for a day, and we really got some goodwill out of that. We also have our website, our newsletter, social media, and much more in terms of marketing. So where we're going with new marketing initiatives, we want to employ proven methods of persuasion to get new members to join. We plan to make the process of joining as a member easier, but most of all, we want to reach out to you because we think you are our most effective marketers to join by encouraging your friends and neighbors to join. I'd say, think how powerful and effective it would be if you could just ask 2 neighbors, one to your left and one to your right, to join, explain why it's important to you, and follow up with them until they do join. You know, I'm a fan of popular social science, and social science will tell you recently that experiences are more valuable than possessions. The memories from experiences are better than owning possessions. So even though we're in June, you know, we've got a whole year ahead of us. Why not think about giving a gift of membership, maybe as a holiday gift, to a friend or a family member or a neighbor and say, this is really important to me, protecting this lake. We can go to these member meetings twice a year and have an experience together, and we can think about protecting our lake. So that's our ask of all of you, and anyone else who you can think can bring into the fold. So, you know, as board members, we're here to serve and protect and support the lake. And we ourselves have taken the above challenge to try and bring in new members, you know, neighbors to our left and to our right. So we look forward to having you on our marketing team very much. And please reach out, contact me if you have any comments or questions. We're a growing organization, and there's a lot we can do together. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
What's the universe of homeowners?
You know, it's a rough number, people would debate it, I think it's 500 to 600 around the lake, so not every member that we have lives on the lake.
Right.
So you think 320 out of 500 to 600, most of those are lake residents, but not everybody. So we're doing a decent job, but we probably should aim for 2/3 or 75% of people around the lake, and then get more community involvement.
Sure.
You don't have to live on the lake to belong to our organization.
Understood, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Brian? Okay, thank you very much, Brian.
Sure.
Keith?
Oh, all right, morning. I'll be
Why
discussing.
don't you come up front here, your
okay,
voice
I'll be
is a little
discussing.
softer.
I'll be discussing our 2020 results for the water quality testing. It's been a challenging year last year because of COVID. We weren't sure if the state lab was going to take our samples, but in June we started doing that. Overall, in 2020, our score, the trophic index score, it was 46, and that's average what we've been experiencing over the past 10 years at LBPIA. I know last year we had a score of 51, which is higher than normal. Not quite sure what that all meant, but we were at 46 this year.
Is that better?
Yes, yes. You want to be in the mid 40s, 40 in the 40 range. That's where you want to be on this lake. The trophic score index, the DNR uses it, and what does it mean? Is it tells you how fertile a lake is. You don't want to be non-fertile because then the lake's dead, or you don't want to be too fertile and it's highly toxic and you green algae. So if you go in an index range of 60 or higher, then you blue-green algae becomes dominant. So we're not near that at all. We're right in the middle. I can tell you, I was just out there last week, this past week actually, and I can tell you the temperature is like 82 degrees on the surface, 0 to 3 feet down. So it's almost bathwater out there. A day like this, you might want to jump in. You can see about 12 feet down right now. It's about normal. And the fishing dissolved oxygen levels are high, which is great. You want to be in the 13, 14 range. Fish need at least 2, about levels of 2. So, other than that, everything's going along the lake. So, any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Near the restaurant, there's a lot of blue-green algae, and I wonder if that has an impact.
That's,
on
I believe, which restaurant are you? Dockside?
Lulabelle.
Lulabelle, that, okay, that is probably, the green stuff, that's duckweed. And that's natural, that comes straight out of the can.
Yeah, if you look, it cuts out the sunlight and the oxygen in the water. Is that of any significance, or just a finding?
It depends on the water level. If we get a tremendous amount of rain, that will raise up the level of the lake and the back in that area, and it will, depending on the wind, it'll blow it right out into the lake. So it's just normal ecology. Go ahead.
I would love to start working with you. I know it's your last year, so
Sure.
I told you last year. So
Yes,
if
I'm
the
available.
position's still open,
Yes.
I'm eager.
Okay.
But I want training.
Sure.
So, and I'm Kim Rosenmeyer.
Yeah, great job. Yeah.
Right? I'm a self-proclaimed water nerd.
After the meeting, please.
And your name again is?
Kim Rosenmeyer.
Thank you, Kim.
You're hired.
Thank you. All right.
It pays well, you know.
Phosphates, do you guys continue to do or monitor the level of phosphates in the lake?
Correct. The phosphate levels, I have it. They determine, obviously, the higher the phosphates, the higher the chlorophyll levels. They do coincide, but they're again in normal ranges.
Holding?
Yes.
You see no reason to ban phosphates used on lawns?
Well, obviously, you don't want to use chemicals on the land, fertilizer, including organized. Anything you put on the lake, it gets washed into the lake.
No, my point is, do we need to think about a ban of homeowners using it near the lake?
Well, it's something the board would have to decide on doing that.
recommendation pieces always.
You know, maybe if the newsletter, the next newsletter would have something as an educational piece about fertilizers and even recommendations of a material that is reasonable for the lake.
We've had in the past, we put that in the
I
newsletter.
think it should be almost every year. A lot of turnover in the last couple of years, and a lot of people just don't know. They're using True Green, and I'm pretty sure their stuff is not good for the lake.
Yes. Well, even the colored mulch that we put out there, it's like
Right.
food color that we put on there.
Could that be a section on the website? I mean, because if you have a turnover, and if you, let's say you have a lawn for years and all of a sudden you do something with a portion of it, or you have to take a tree out, you have to do something different, where do you go to get that immediate information? If that was just a standard piece on the website, you'd be able to get it at any time.
Excellent.
We'll put it on the website.
And it is actually on there, but they're kind of very cool.
Bring it there.
Yeah.
Like from the homepage.
Yeah, we'll put it on the homepage.
There's notes or-
There are alternatives, instead of using pesticides, I think you can use like anywhere from like soap and soda pop to kill weeds and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I just Google it and how to kill weeds, and it's very interesting what other techniques you can use instead of using pesticides. Go ahead.
What I did, I have a neighbor who uses the lawn service, and they do, use some chemical treatment. So I actually talked to them, it was TLC, and I actually called the owner and asked him to, see if he would be willing to get fertilizer that doesn't have all the phosphates that are undesirable. He claimed he was gonna do that. He said it would cost more. I said, I think everyone would be willing to pay a little more to preserve the lake.
Yes.
And when they came through, I did ask the person, what kind of fertilizer. He wasn't positive, so I'm going to call the person again. But for people that maybe see these lawn service areas, maybe question what they're using and see if we can kind of push them along to change the fertilizer.
All right.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
An incentive for all of us to use a local guy that we can persuade with dollars, seems to work.
Thank you, Keith.
Yep. Another question back there.
Oh,
Is it possible to, or is it legal to get flyers that would just educate people saying, are you helping or hurting the lake, something simple? What is your lawn service using? We could stick it in mailboxes. I mean, I know there's lawn service on the old Brush property. People are hardly ever home, so to talk to them is impossible, they're never there. But, it certainly would be, I'd go around and put them in mailboxes if possible, just to say, an awareness thing. Are you aware that this might be creating a problem for your community?
that's great, and we can certainly look into that. So we did produce a piece of literature that we made available at our 125th that had that same idea to educate people and get the messaging out. So I think that could be very easily revised to do that sort of thing, so.
Because there's a lot of people that are members, so they're not coming,
Right.
they're not going to the website, and they're not reading this material, but they're still using lawn services. And I can think of a number of them on Horseshoe Lane, because I see the trucks.
So we'll put in the minutes a reminder for us to make sure that we put this on our agenda and address it as an actionable item, so thank you for that.
How about the idea of contacting the lawn services in the area that service the area and inform them that our desire, not law, but our recommendation is they do not use phosphates. Someone should take responsibility for contacting.
Okay, we can certainly visit that as well. Someone else got a hand up back here.
If you need someone, I would volunteer.
Okay, thank you. And your name again is Chuck Frank. Okay, there's no other questions on that topic. We'll move on to the next topic, which is me to talk about our fish stocking program. We're doing things a little bit differently this coming year. And it's a result of a meeting that I had with the management district where they typically donate $1,000 towards our fish stocking every year. And last year, there was a push for us to look more into what are the real issues around the fish habitat of the lake, because the numbers seem to be down last year from previous years. So we talked to the fisheries biologists, other people on the state, and then we also were engaged with the Walleyes Unlimited organization because they helped us with putting walleye into the lake last year. And what we're going to do this year is we're not going to put all the money into fish stocking. We're also going to do some habitat improvement where we create some fish bed habitat and also some habitat improvement for walleyes, because walleyes require moving water and they require a gravel bed for them to do spawning. And we have no indication that walleye are actually spawning in our lake right now. I mean, we certainly have walleye, but we haven't been able to pick up any female spawning fish in any of our surveys where we go out and we look at what is the health of the fish species around the lake. So that is going to be an attempt to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the monies that we have available. And as mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people, when they give additional donations, they'll specify that they want it to go towards the fish program. So again, we thank people for that and for those additional funds. We will work with the Walleyes Unlimited group. They also have a grant program where we're looking to take advantage of that. And this is all still in the planning phases. But because typically that happens during the winter months when the ice is on and then the ice melts and the gravel and everything falls to where you want it for the bed to be created. So we're going to continue to work with both the DNR, the fisheries biologists, and the Walleyes Unlimited to do that. The fish that we're going to be releasing this year, we're going back and we're releasing perch again. We're going to probably do about $3,000 worth of perch, and just so that you understand what that is, so we put in both medium-sized perch and large perch. So the medium size will be 3 to 5 inches, and the large perch are 5 to 7 inches, and we'll do a combination of both for that release. And then we also work with a local environmental school, Nature's Classroom, which is down on Highway E. They have their first, second, and third graders come out and help us to do that as part of an educational event for them, where we talk about why we're doing it and the importance of doing it as an educational event. And they have just a ball releasing those perch with buckets. They go to the end of the pier and they dump them, and it makes a day for them. And we usually post pictures on our website that you can see of that, so if you get a chance to take a look at that, it's very, very cute. So we'll apply for the grants all in July, and then the actual release usually happens in September, towards the end of September, the 3rd or the 4th week of September. So we will be doing that. In talking to our fisheries biologist, you saw the information in the newsletter about the trout. They are not going to be stocking any trout into our lake this year. And this fall, they're going to do a fish survey again to look at the health and the well-being of the fish populations in our lake. As of right now, they weren't able to do any of that work during the whole COVID period, so that just all went away. So this will be the first census that they take since 2019. So it'll be important. And we as the Lake Association will support them in that initiative and possibly even help. So with that, I will open it up to any questions or comments that people have about what we have on the agenda for this year for our fish stocking program and habitat improvement. Yeah.
How do you do the fish survey in the fall?
So they actually do nettings around different parts of the lake, and then they go in traps, and then they go and they look to see. They also do shocking, where they will shock a certain part of the lake. Fish will come up and basically be comatose for about a minute or two, and then they quickly look at to see what sorts of fish are surfacing, and is it the fish that they would expect to see in that area. It does not harm the fish. They live, they're perfectly fine, but it's an easy way for the DNR to get an understanding of what's going on. Anything else?
Is
Yes.
that what they're doing see at 10:30 at night that boat come down from the landing?
No, it's actually legal to fish at night with lights, with bows and arrows. And I think that's what you're seeing, is you're seeing people that are out there fishing carp and other fish.
Yeah, I use binoculars to figure out what the heck is
Yeah, that if they're shooting the bass, if you see them pulling really, any of the perch, which they wouldn't be shooting perch, but if they're shooting game fish, yeah, but like carp and suckers, which surprisingly we do have in our lake, not in high numbers, but we do have them.
Sorry, could you explain what they can and cannot?
I'm not the guy to do that, but I can, from my understanding.
I shoot them, I'm not the one with the lights, but it's primarily carp and gar.
Oh, it is.
So they're the carper and invasive fish, so it's actually a good thing to have them. Is that when they spawn, they also turn over a lot of silt.
Yep.
Like trash in the water, and you can show off other.
And it's usually that time of the year when they're spawning that they're doing the hunting for them, because it's when they're visible